and not have collateral damage. We've had collateral damage. We have a situation that has not fixed itself. Is this a big deal? To some people it is. Just like at some point you want to do a building addition. I'm sure that's going to be a big deal. And I'm not saying for or against it. I'm just saying depends on what the issue is. It was very difficult for me to make this meeting, say what I said, and not have to have the opportunity for a board member or somebody to ask a question or to make a comment. I knew they couldn't take action on it. I knew they couldn't pass anything on it. But I am absolutely surprised that the board cannot communicate with a citizen by board policy. That's board policy, that they can't communicate with a citizen. It's very frustrating for a citizen to go to talk to somebody in a group that has been elected and elected because you were good for what the position you were going for. You were accepting the responsibility. Then I can't talk to you. I can't get any feedback. And I started to ask, why did I come here? Why did I do that? Well, I'm still glad that I did it. But for heaven's sakes, we gotta have some communication. If we'd had communication, this whole thing probably would have been solved. Probably would have. Now lines have been drawn. And they're not good lines. They're lines of collateral damage. Something we didn't need. If that truly is a policy of this school board, then this school board needs to look at their policies for real. And if that's a policy they want, that you all agree with and you sign off on, that you don't want to communicate with citizens, you'll let them come talk to you, but you can't talk to us. Is that what you were elected for? Is it? You know the facts of what happened here as well as probably better. Because some of you have been involved in meetings, if my information is correct. And you chose the position, the back administration, which you can do as a board. I don't argue that at all. You can make that position. And if you want to back that position because you feel was the best one, then that's your decision as a board. That's the way it is. But from a citizen standpoint, I'm almost more angry because there's no communication. I'm going to get down here and I'm going to leave, and I'll have no idea if this did any good or not. And I'm sad about that because I didn't take my time and efforts to come talk to you because I felt like jabbering my lips. I really didn't. These type of meetings I just pain doing because they're not positive. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to me.
Jerry, I guess the question I would have is how do you get past this? I mean, it's unfortunate that Eric probably has that because that's where we need to go. You know,
How do we fix it?
How do we fix it? And I understand we do have policy for it.
The policy does not say what Mr. Murdoch says. I will read it. Citizen participation. Citizens, patrons of Fillmore Central Public School only, who wish to appear before the board for the purpose of requesting a change in board policy or action, shall make such request known to the superintendent by noon on the Friday preceding the meeting of the board. Such request shall, in writing, state the purpose of the request and designate the person who requests to address the board. Groups that desire to address the board must designate one person to speak on behalf of said group. That doesn't say anything about not speaking. I mean, there's a place there where the citizens get to come forward. It doesn't talk about only discussing what the board has on their own agenda.
Can I read you the paragraph right above that one?
Sure.
It says the board is not required by law to allow citizens to speak at each meeting.
Right.
But at regular meetings, citizens will ordinarily be given the opportunity to present information or to express opinions to the board on any matter, and this is underlined, on the agenda.
Right.
I just
And
want
then
to
it
be
goes
clear.
on to say, comments from individuals at board meetings may be permitted under the following conditions, which is the paragraph I just read.
Maybe.
We've had 3 people that have requested to be put on the agenda. Well, 2 of us were. All right, and just me.
You
I'll
can
speak
make-
for myself.
You can make the request, but we don't have to put you on the
But you can
agenda.
deny me, which is exactly what you did.
That's correct.
You denied it. You just said you didn't deny me, but you did.
Said I didn't put it on the agenda.
You wouldn't allow me to speak except during public opinion.
So only school board members can put stuff on agendas?
That's correct. By
Or
our
if you-
policy, Greg.
Okay, so if you were a citizen, then you would go to a school board member and ask them?
You can make a request to put it on the agenda, and if it's something that we think that we need to deal
But I'm
with,
saying,
we
should
can
you
put it
go,
on the agenda.
should you go to a school board member? I mean, what's best?
Sean and I can create the agenda, or any 2 school board members can make a request.
So would,
All right.
I'm just, how, the best way would, so if she said she went to you and it didn't work, I'm just saying how? Go to a school board member?
I didn't put it on because we've dealt with it, Greg, month after month after
I'm
month.
just saying, I'm just saying.
That was the first month.
Is it best to go to a school board member? Or go to Sean? Is that what we should?
And one of the things, Greg, and I was, actually it brought up something I was thinking about, and I'll go ahead and voice it now. Is there anybody that's on the school board that wants something on the agenda, folks? I know it says it takes 2, but if you want something on there, that's your choice. And I have no problems putting it on there, but it's your, bill or your action that you want to take on.
Well, in my
And-
particular situation, to clarify, I was not yet on the board.
Yes.
I requested December, and I came on the board in January.
So does that mean we have to change policy?
The board determines the agenda.
Yeah,
But I
it's
just
still
want one
it's-
board member
it's
wants
not-
to request something.
Well,
But
but
then
Sean
they
said
go-
he would put it on,
I would,
so he's got that
I would
right.
support them, in that sense, because any board member,
The way it's written, you have the authority
yes.
as a president, correct?
Sean
For
Sean
this
and I
year.
work, and I
Yeah.
called Sean Wednesday, we
Right.
went through all the agenda
To clarify
together.
things,
so-
I guess, what Greg's getting at, if a citizen, whoever, member, whatever they want to talk about, if they come to you or to Sean, and you deem it something that is relevant, it will be put on.
I'm saying with the board members right now.
I know, but I'm going back
But
to what
yes.
Greg was asking.
Well, I'm saying they probably have a better chance of convincing one of you. I'm just, if they convince you, if I can convince you and then you put it on the agenda, then it's on the agenda, that's all I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
I guess I was under the impression of having a citizen time to come speak, that I recognize, because I've been in government a lot of years, that you, as a board, you couldn't say, okay, I'm gonna make a motion to do this, this. I realize you can't do that. When I came here, I knew that you had to create an agenda item if somebody brought something up. If I wanted the walls painted pink, I could come up here and say, I want it painted pink. And you might say, well, why do you want that? That's what I guess I was hoping, that there'd be a dialogue. But there was no dialogue. And if you looked at it and says, this is the most most irregular thing that's ever been said, and you say, we're just not gonna take action on it because it's ridiculous. Okay, fine. That's your decision. If you had questions about it and you answered, well, maybe that's not a bad idea to try it with one room or whatever. But there is no dialogue. The dialogue is, we can't talk. I can stand here and there's a wall between us, but you can't talk to me. I can talk to you, but you can't talk to me. And I was looking for that dialogue, because I want to see it fixed too. I'm not here to light a fire. I'd like to see the doggone thing put out and resolved. And what happens is, as it goes on, things that people say, they defend positions, lines are drawn, paint dries, and it's there forever. When, if we had a dialogue, I think it could be fixed. I know some veterans came here and spoke very angrily, and they were very upset. I'm not saying that's good, bad, or indifferent, but they voiced a strong opinion. Some veterans came here and talked about, says, we'd like to see something developed so we can follow the rules, and we know what the rules are. But there was a mistake made here, and people said things that was a little different than what it was real. Let's fix it. All it's done is make people more angry. And that's not good for you, and really, very frankly, it's not good for the Legion. I'm not sure it's good for the students. They probably don't even know what's going on, most of them. But you are the people that run this school. You make the policies. I can tell you what law is too. Sometimes you do things because it's the right thing to do. Not that it's against the law, not prohibited by law, but you make that choice. And the choice here is you can't talk to me. And that, what have we resolved so far in this whole issue? What have we resolved? We're mad, some of us. Some of us had to defend the positions that maybe they didn't necessarily want to. Some of them have said this isn't worth it, so we're not going to make a position at all. We're just going to stay quiet and let the administration handle it. Well, let the administration handle it, but it's still going to fall on your shoulders. You know that. I know that. Am I incorrect? You don't have to talk to me. You can just shake your head like no or yes or something.
Well, I kind of want to open up to any other board members too, Terry. Does anybody else have anything else? Because we do need to move on. I don't want to squash this, okay?
Okay.
Let go. But is there any other comments even from board members at this time?
Yeah, it's just very difficult to have a speaker's policy. You know, we've got to leave it up to the discretion of the superintendent for those things. And I think the problem is we have big disagreements on that judgment. But really, we shouldn't have to have a speaker's policy. We haven't had one for years. We never needed one up until now. And it's a shame that this happened.
I agree with you. Tell you the honest to God truth, I don't think we need a speaker's policy either. If there is an understanding, if you want to make a statement of understanding that is very loose, at least have it. The way this thing got canceled was, it is our policy, the school's policy, that would not prohibit this gentleman from talking. There was no policy. There was nothing other than what an individual said there was. And that was sad, because that lit the fire.
Well, there are several policies that refer to it, but you're right, it's not a specific policy.
Sure. And I kind of gathered that there was some things in there, just like what you read tonight. Depends on how you want to interpret it. So I'm sorry I took more time than I should have. I apologize for that. But if there's a way that, I wanted to see it there.
I do have a question. It's something that Terry has asked me, and a number of other vets have asked me. Why was the speaker different? We really haven't been given a reason. I don't think. At least I haven't heard it. What was the reason?
I've said last month I'm done talking about it. I think I've given my comments. I think we protected our students and did the right thing. I haven't changed my mind, not going to change it tonight. So we look out for the kids first, and that's what we did.
So you're saying that I'm sorry, I'm keeping my shut. It would be appropriate for me to say.
You're fine, Terry.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I understand why the citizens would do it. When they would come speak on the agenda, who knows what the agenda is until you hear it.
Any other comments from the folks out here? I did receive, so everybody is aware of, if you would like to read the letter, I got a letter from Mr. Merlin Eman from Fairmont regarding the upcoming, looking at the buildings and then also our school and population. He's got several things in here, so who would like to read that? I had received this, I was going to make photocopies of it, and I'll get that out to everyone. I just got it on Saturday afternoon, so it was one of the ones I was like, whoa, okay. But I'll make that open. Yes?
I want to put 2 cents in.
Yes?
What would have been the worst thing that this guy would have said? I mean, I can understand, protecting our kids. It's not like a skinhead. I mean, what would be the worst thing he could have said? It just, I just, that, he just said what, maybe that, I don't know if President Obama was the right choice. I mean, what would have been the worst thing